Listen what we tell them. Tell them this is what we tell them. What we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down clock in. Down clock in. Down clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense. Go defense. Defense, gone, defense. Clock in, D, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, that we had like a top 10, or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas Doomsday defense. Listen what the hot boys tell them, defense. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat, yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down clock in. Down clock in. Down clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your. Now you deep in the woods. Plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds. The hot boys shining. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, go to work. Down clock.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboys.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast in this buck.
Watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always over here. Raider, Cowboy, always Cowboy.
You did one hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say, how about them Cowboys?
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, man. The one-armed cowboy, man. You already know what it is, man. And we are live today on this great Saturday, man. So I'm hoping everybody's having themselves a great day. Went in for a checkup to try to see what was wrong with my hand. Found out it's broken. So, you know, God is good. And he's good all the time, and all the time he's good. But hey, man,
just at least you won, brother. At least you won. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what it is. Hey, what's up on IG? Hey, y'all already know. I ain't worried. Ain't nobody worried about Boss Cowboy, man, because I got my folks on IG, man. Ain't nobody worried about him. Instagrammy, what's up with you? Mama of 3 girls, 2018. How you doing? I'm a daddy of 3 girls, so I guess that could almost be my handle too. What up with you, T? Fantasy Football Cowboy, what up with you? Irony, what up with you? Diesel, Big Diesel, what up with you, man? What up with you guys off over there on Facebook too, man? I see you guys are cracking on Facebook. For whatever reason, it's not loading you guys' comments. I don't know why, but I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look into that. But it looks like it's loading. What happened, bro? Had to switch to IG. What's up with you, man? So, hey, we're gonna start this thing off. We always have like a kind of a show. Like me and Boss Cowboy, he's on the line. I know y'all heard him in the background. What's up with you, Boss Cowboy?
Man, what's up, man?
Man, I'm good, man. There we go. So now y'all can see him. But yeah, we started off our show earlier today. We were talking about the injuries. We kind of updated on the injuries already. But we did have some confirmation stuff that happened. And the confirmation stuff that kind of happened today is that La'el Collins is not practicing today. So there is a good chance that La'el Collins will not play on Sunday, man. So with La'el Collins not playing on Sunday, we definitely need to have some type of contingency plan for this Sunday. It looks like your offensive line starting today was man, that was a rookie mistake. Sorry about that, y'all. Was Cam Fleming. We had, what up with you, Cowboys packages? I seen you calling me on my cell phone right now, but I'm live. But yo, while he's on the line right now, remember you guys, this weekend we're going to be live in the building at the Omni Hotel. We're going to have Jalen Smith. We also have a special guest coming out, an active Dallas Cowboy player right now. I can't say who it is, but we do have a special guest that's going to be coming out this Saturday also. So make sure you guys come out and support your boy West Coast and Boss Cowboy. Because we will be having ourselves a great time this weekend at 3 p.m. So make sure that you guys come out and support your boy West Coast and support your boy Boss Cowboy, man, because we will be in the building this Saturday, man, with Jalen Smith and with a special guest that I'm not going to reveal until later on tonight. But, yo, make sure everybody comes out. But, yo, just to finish this show off, like I was saying earlier today, we did an update on injuries. And La'el Collins have been listed as an injury. Well, practice at that point hadn't taken place, so we didn't know if that was like going to be official or if it was going to change or anything was going to be different. Well, guess what, guys? La'el Collins was a DNP today. He did not practice. Now, you guys already know Jason Garrett's rule. Jason Garrett's rule is what? You got to practice at least 3 days in order to be eligible to play in the game. So that means he still has time because he still has tomorrow, and he has Friday. But he did not practice today, so Boss Cowboy, I'm assuming our starting offensive line for today was Cam Fleming. Then beside Cam Fleming, you probably had Xavier Sulafule. Then after Xavier, you had Travis Frederick. Then after Travis, you had Zach Martin. And then after Zach Martin, you had Connor Williams, who gets switched from guard over to tackle. So, Boss Cowboy, I kind of gave out the names. When you hear those names and you hear that we're playing Aaron Rodgers and the Green, it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers that's going to be rushing a quarterback. So actually, they're actually playing against the Green Bay's defensive line. But and we kind of know a little bit about Green Bay's defensive line. What is your thoughts about that possible offensive line going into this week's game against the Green Bay Packers?
I don't see La'el not playing. I just don't. I mean, because that'd be so weird to me when I watch a guy complete a whole game, play great all game, and then all of a sudden he's gone. I'm super hoping it's precautionary. That's what I'm extremely hoping, West Coast, because if he doesn't play, I'm extremely concerned about right tackle. I'm extremely concerned about right tackle because just from the early reports of OTAs, the initial showing of Connor Williams was not good. Now, we do know that that's OTAs and that's shirts and shimmels, meaning they're not in full pads, and they don't really have as many leverage points when you have pads that help you when you're trying to block somebody, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not a true indicator, but it's an indicator, right? And watching Jason Garrett speak about him in OTAs when they gave him that shot at tackle, it didn't sound too good. And plus, with the extra body weight that he put on, does he have the quickness that he once had at Texas to be able to even play that position? And then on top of that, his short arms. The right tackle is where I'll be concerned the most. And then, I'm not as concerned about Cam Fleming, not at all. I know he's not, better than T. Smith, but we've watched him play before in T. Smith's absence. And what makes me feel better about him is obviously Dak's passing rating. Dak passing rating was 119.33 when T. Smith didn't play last year and Cam had to substitute for him. So with that, he did his thing. He played good enough. Obviously, everybody remember when he was put through the spin zone. When I say that means he was beat bad, right, versus the Giants. But that's when Dak made that spin move, rolled out, and made that 50-yard throw to Cole Beasley. So with him, Dak is going to have to be ready to be a little bit more agile and a little bit more fluid in the pocket than just, Tyron. But at the same time, he's good enough, But the only thing that would concern me if we went into Sunday would be the right tackle, and I would be greatly concerned with that. Greatly.
Yeah, and I know on IG, you guys can't hear Boss Cowboy respond, and I apologize for that. We are working on an ingenious way to try to figure out how you guys can get that audio. I'm currently working on that as we speak. But as of right now on IG, you can only hear me talk, and I apologize for that. It's it just kind of be like that sometimes. How you guys can get that? All right. That audio. I'm working on that as we speak. Well, there you go. But you guys should be able to hear a little bit of. You guys should be from that. So when Boss Cowboy speaks, what I'll do is I will turn this phone up so you guys can hear it, and then we'll try to have this all worked out by at least by next week. We get this worked out. But basically what Boss Cowboy was going through is he was just kind of going through his concerns as far as what's going to be happening, as far as what's going on with the offensive line. I mean, in a perfect world, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I would rather 100% have Cam Fleming over there and have Connor Williams right back where he was, because one thing I will say about Connor Williams is, like, he really, really went aggressively after shaping his body to look like a guard. You know what I'm saying? And, like, that was probably the only hesitation I think I had as far as, like, switching him back to tackle, you know what I'm saying, is because of the amount of body change that he had gone through. Like, he put a lot of weight on, and it wasn't like strength weight. It was like sit down weight. So when someone puts their hands on you, you won't move type of weight. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like athleticism weight where your tackles are more athletic. You know what I'm saying? When you think of Tyron Smith, when you think of Leo Collins, what do you think? You think of a lot of athleticism coming from those guys. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's where I think that's kind of like where he kind of like has molded his body. I definitely think that Connor Williams can do it, though, because you guys got to remember, when we drafted Connor Williams, he was actually playing tackle at Texas. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even playing guard. I mean, obviously, he was vacillating between the two positions. Because position flex is definitely something here in Dallas that we value. We value greatly. We actually even cut a guy named Taco Charleston because he did not have position flex. So I know that's something that the Dallas Cowboys really, really value a lot. But it's just curious to me, like, with all this shuffling, you have a guy last year who played pretty damn good in Joe Looney. And Joe Looney is basically getting and all this moving around, he's not getting any playing time. So it almost seems like the Dallas Cowboys basically view Joe Looney 100% as a center.
Yeah.
You have a guy last year. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I mean, you definitely right on Looney, for sure. I mean, they definitely view him as a center, I would say. And Connor Williams, I even heard somebody speak about even Zach Martin playing some tackle. I think it was Broadus. I was just listening to him, and they was actually speaking on him potentially playing tackle as well. So I hope it's not a crisis going on, bro, because we're going to know pretty soon. Because if Leah doesn't practice again And if he's announced that he's not playing Sunday, that's going to be a very scary look. And I'm going to have my eyes very intensely watching both tackle positions, because that's going to be the most vulnerable position that we've been in a very long time. Like, everybody's kind of used to Tyron going out. So you can say about 4 games out the season, he's not going to play. So the contingency plan was built for him, and everybody's good about it. I feel pretty good about it. But then nobody is expecting 2 tackles out. And then now your depth that was already challenged is exponentially challenged. And then you start throwing out stuff like just what if, and you have to be ready for this. What if Connor Williams goes out there and he's a fish in water? Well, everybody's good. We just continue our Super Bowl quest for this year. What if he is Chaz Green? Well, you got to do something pretty quick, and you got to make it happen pretty quick. What's the contingency for that? Right? So we so close to emergency mode is scary, right? And I'm just being honest. It's really like an emergency mode right now if Liel doesn't play. And I'm just really just praying and hoping that this is a precautionary thing, which Dallas does, right? They have been very precautionary when it comes to potential injuries. They've been, since the beginning of training camp, they was like this, that if you even had a dink or you had a little scare, oh, they sent you to the lab. They sent you to get looked at. Like, what did they just do with Amari? Gave him a precautionary MRI, right? He still ended up playing. So I'm more so praying that it's that. Because if it's not that, and we have both tackles out, especially in this game, that could greatly affect our run.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to remember that's where we get a lot of our power from, and that's where we want to go for. That's where we're typically running to. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you would want to think that your hot shot, whiz kid offensive coordinator be able to compensate for some of this stuff, because that's kind of the job of an offensive coordinator, is to kind of like cover up some of your deficiencies. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're supposed to be able to cover up. If your big wide receiver ain't playing today, then guess what? Your offensive coordinator's at least supposed to be able to go out there and make it work for at least a game. And that's why, like, when I hear like stuff like Devontae Adams isn't playing, like, yeah, that's a good. I guess you could say it's a good thing. It's always a good thing when a great player's not playing against you. But at the same time, like, I also know that it's these offensive coordinators' jobs to have contingency plans and try to figure it out. Like, they're not trying to figure it out for 5 games. They're trying to figure it out for his turf toe. He'll be out 1 game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's a real good point. And I want to kind of talk about what could be some of our potential contingency plans. Because I have some numbers here that kind of goes directly into what you just said. Because if you look at Philly versus Green Bay, and Green Bay lost that game, right? Obviously. If you look at Aaron Rodgers throwing to Carson Wentz was 16 of 27 and 160 yards in the air. But if you look at Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard averaged 5.8 yards per carry, and Miles Sanders averaged 6.5 yards per carry. They basically beat them balls on the ground.
Yeah, he did.
When you're talking about a contingency plan, even though the timing would be bad, the opponent is good. Because that's basically saying we would have to slow the game down, and then you wouldn't want Dak doing a bunch of dropbacks or even making a bunch of throws. We would want to beat them on the ground. And so Philly already showed, especially late in the game, where they had to stop, right? Philly's run attack, and they couldn't. That says that when you're going against our offensive line, we can mess around and control Green Bay too. So it's like that, and I agree with you. That's the job of an offensive coordinator to say, because a perfect example of that is when we played Seattle last year, right? The game before we played them, all of us was going in like, we're going to get 50 sacks on Seattle. Because the week before, the team that they played got 10. And, Tank, and we were just coming off the New York game where we got a bunch of sacks on Eli, and we were just smelling ourselves. So they did change the game up, and you know what they did? They went heavy run, quick passes, keep it a slow game, make it a real close game, and the first person to make a mistake win. That to me would how you would have to address if it's the case that where our tackles are out, right? And if you throw, you want to have confident throws and quick throws just to test the right side. Because I trust the left side. I would be very leery of the right side and very cautious on it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a really good observation. That's an observation you can make. One can make after watching film. You know what I'm saying? And another adjustments that you guys are going to see too is, once Quinn is on the some offensive coordinators list of people that we got to make sure we watch now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you get that bullseye on your eye, because that's the difference between like makes Tank like an elite defensive end is like when they know you're coming. Like it's a difference, when they know you're coming, and I mean when they don't know you coming, you just get out there and eat. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? That might be a little effect of why Taco's eating right now. We'll have to see the whole year. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to see the whole year to decide if that's cool. But what I will say is there's a lot of teams that had no thoughts of scouting a first round draft pick who the Cowboys said was good. And guess what they found out? Oh, damn, this guy's pretty good. So what happens now when those guys when those offensive coordinators, when they start adjusting to you, when they start chipping you, when they start sliding that six offensive line, a.k.a. a tight end who can't catch, down there to stand in front of you? What happens then? Are you still trying to get movement? Are you still pushing that line? You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things. So it's like not to switch the subject too quick, but this is something I actually wanted to talk about earlier, man, because right now a lot of people are kind of like ragging on my boy D-Law. They saying, damn, my D-boy D-Law, he ain't doing nothing. I'm like, well, he do got 2.5 sacks in 3 games.
Yeah, and to be honest, bro, every sack that Quinn got, Tank was right behind him.
Yeah, like
I mean, they was basically, Quinn just kind of ate his production. And that really is not a bad thing. So basically, one of them go get him. Can you say it like that? You know what I mean? Now, obviously, Quinn had an exponential game because if you just look at the sacks, you missed the impact of Quinn. It was also the tackles for loss, the bat downs, the pressures, the penalties he caused. He moved them backyards. So you got to look at the whole thing that Quinn has accomplished. But that's not a knock on Tank. And we got Tank as a subject because, there's some questions going on with his shoulder.
Hey, my boy McCullough, 82 says D-Law. Hey, Robin, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Is you a Miami fan, or what is you? You got a Miami thing and you keep requesting to jump in my video. Come on, bro. You know I ain't about to let no Miami fan up here. If you a Cowboy fan, I need you to put a star on there, then request, and then I might be like, yeah, I'll let you in my video. But I for sure ain't about to let you up in my video with no Miami Dolphin logo. But my boy,
like Tank told that little boy, man, you got to put on the right.
You got to put on the right logo, bro. You got the wrong logo, man. My boy McCullough said. My boy McCullough said this. He says D-Law on. This is on Instagram too. He says D-Law is on pace. D-Law is on pace right now because if you do 2 times 5, because he's played 4 games. So if you do 2, and we have 6 games, we have we have 12 games left. So if you times that, D-Law's on pace to have 10 sacks this year. And think about this. He's on pace to have 10 sacks again for the 3rd time in 3 years, which is pretty spectacular. And not only is he on pace to have 10 sacks, that's with him being double teamed 36% of the time. Now, I know that 36% of the time is going to go down. Why? Because Robert Quinn just got 2.5 sacks in 1 game, so he's going to have to get some of that. Like, unless you're just going to let Quinn have 20 sacks.
And keep in mind that he got, 2 sacks with limited reps. He's not getting the same reps that he was getting before. So you getting it's almost like they use Zeke, right, versus Miami. And you saw Miami and Pollard go for over 100. I mean, if they just use Zeke like they used Zeke versus the Saints, Zeke would have probably got 200 yards. But they actually kind of did a little bit more by using him a little bit less. That's kind of how they using Tank. And to West Coast point, which I think is an excellent point, ain't no way you gonna watch Quinn make an impactful game like that and be like, well, we're going to just trust our left tackle to just take care of Quinn. No, Quinn is the type of guy that takes over a game. One of the main reasons they only scored 12 points was because of Quinn. And you're not going to watch Quinn, to your point, as an offensive coordinator say, we're going to be okay. No. Yeah. You're going to try to figure out a way to handle both of them because now you have to account for both. And then more than likely, if you reading the scouting report, who you go put your assets on?
Because you can only have five on the offensive line. You can have 6.
And then maybe one helper.
Somebody's coming out your back
or a tight end. Right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Because if you put 6 on the offensive line, that means you're sacrificing somebody you're sacrificing a weapon.
And who would you do? Like at least I can see this debate happen internally.
I'm gonna keep it real right now. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, regardless of what Quinn had last week, I'm still double teaming DeMarcus Lawrence.
I think I'm a consider as an adjustment making that switch over to Quinn. Like that is the way that I would go into the game, right? But if I look at the scouting report and I say, man, they saying this guy over here having shoulder issues, this guy over here is fresh. And he just totally took over the game. He's the current sack leader, pressure leader, tackle for loss leader. And he doing that in record time. I would consider real quick making that adjustment on. We're going to have to trust somebody one-on-one with Tank. But that's good either way, right? That's basically putting all teams in lose-lose situations.
Yeah, because most teams have a really good left tackle and an okay right tackle. Because the left tackle is the guy that's protecting the guy who can't see. Like blindside. So let's think about this. We've always had an elite left tackle. We've always had Doug Free. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of the stuff we went through, I had to take some of that stuff back that we said about Doug Free, because Doug Free was not as bad as some of these guys that didn't play on this line.
See, where you this is where I miss Doug Free, and if I could meet Doug Free, I would hug him and apologize.
I would, you got to. Doug Free is definitely one of those guys we got to apologize to.
I super miss Doug Free on the running game. Oh, I miss him. He was so big and he pushed people down so easily and effortlessly. It was pass pro where I couldn't stand him, but it was almost like now I would love him because I'd be like, I'd take a bad. I mean, it was only one game that he was just like getting killed, and that was Minnesota, right? But other than that, you'll be like, okay, he go cause some breakdowns every now and then. But right now, with as bad as our offensive line has been lately, and especially all last year, I would have greatly accepted Free again.
Yeah, I think somebody else that I think I would probably apologize to, like if there's a couple Cowboys that I would apologize to if I ever get to see them, Doug Free is definitely one. I don't gotta apologize to Dez because I was always on the right side of history with him.
Yep.
Like you see my first video when he got released, I was on it, and you can see the first when they was first talking about it, I was saying, Dez, stop waiting for Jerry. You trusting the wrong person. Trust your agent. Jerry ain't got your best interest involved. He talking about he gonna wait until he got to think about it. What the hell you got to think about? Like, I'm gonna tell you guys this: if you get in trouble at your job, or if your job say we thinking about reshaping some stuff, we want you to go home until we figure it out. Start filling out applications, bruh. This is West Coast letting you know they about to fire you, bruh. There's only been one job where I was suspended and they told me to go home and they go investigate. Well, Boss Cowboy, can I tell you what happened about 3 days later? I got a FedEx envelope on my door and they was like, yeah, West Coast, your services is no longer needed. Bro, we ain't nothing to investigate. We ain't nothing to think about. If they got to go home and think about it later, they about to fire you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so Dez Bryant, I was always on the right side of history with him. But Doug, I'm going to tell you someone who else I believe that I also got to give and extend an apology to is my boy Barry Church, man. Because I used to be on Barry Church's head like, God dang, Barry Church. But, hey, man, I like way miss Barry. I might even say Wilcox, but I just didn't appreciate Wilcox until he left. But my boy Barry Church, I missed you, man. My bad.
I agree with both of those. I mean, I like Church because Church was just a solid tackle. He just wasn't special with ball skills. So like, if you looking around the league, it's almost like having some problems with your woman, and then you go to the club, right? You go see some beautiful women that kind of tempt you sometime to make you want to try to approach them, even though you're in a relationship.
I have no clue what the hell you talking about right now. So I don't know what are you talking about.
I know you don't, but the
I don't even know. But I don't even put my name in there.
Okay,
I have no clue what he's talking about.
Let me give another example. Okay, so you cutting your grass.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
That's way more relatable.
you cutting your grass, and you seeing, because you're up close, you know the dirt patches in your yard, right? So you look over, and because the yard on your neighbor's yard is kind of at a distance, you can't see those dirt patches. The green kind of looks a little bit greener, you know. I see where you're coming from.
I can see that. I can understand. Like that's actually happened. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I have a next door neighbor, man. Like, this guy, man. Like, I be like, bro, when do you? Like, come on, man. It's not a competition, bro. Like, but it is a competition in his head. Like, he's that guy that be like, he get home, he wash all his cars on Friday. Like he wash all his car, he water his grass. He don't even believe in sprinklers. He be out there in the middle of the grass watering it, just water.
Oh, he old school.
He old school, bro. He don't believe in sprinklers, bro.
Oh, no sprinklers.
Like, he one of those.
No
efficiency. Him on Saturday morning, him and his wife be out there clipping and stuff, and I be like, I pay $50 a month to the goddamn. I pay Julio to come out and do it. Julio do a good job, you know what I'm saying? But he like, I remember my neighbor told me when he brought his, I think I told y'all this. He brought a lawnmower home. I said, "What you doing, bro? You about to follow Julio? You about to fire Julio?" He said he already knows. I said, "Damn." Like, he one of them dudes. Like, he be really on his stuff. But
hey, man, I'm not gonna even lie though, man. And I'm gonna get back on topic after this, man, and get up to the backup help. But I picked up my yard game from California, man. When I took one trip to California, and I see how y'all have maintenance on your yards. I saw all those roses and stuff in everybody's yard. I said, I gotta step my game up. I mean, I went straight as soon as I came back from California, man. I went straight to Home Depot, man. Went to the flower section, start picking colors because of California. I mean, y'all do take y'all yard serious. That's on another note. But
hey, let's go ahead and switch over to offensive adjustments, and basically these are gonna be not offensive adjustments we wanted to see in New Orleans, because it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? What offensive adjustments that we saw in New Orleans that need to take place in the next game going forward. Right, and
I'm glad you brought that up, because remember we said,
because we don't matter. New Orleans doesn't matter anymore. Like, they're not even thinking about us no more.
I asked you last show, because this is moving forward. I asked you last show, would we see what we saw against New Orleans again?
Now, against Green Bay, this is my
I said for the rest of the season, but we can put this in Green Bay. Like, are we gonna see what I would call, and just kind of shorten it to say, the Scott Linehan shadow?
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I don't give a on this one. I don't give a damn what the film say. I don't care. I don't care what the film says. The way you beat Aaron Rodgers is to keep the ball out of his little sneaky little hands. That's what you do. If you don't want your stuff broken in my house, don't leave it out. Because I got kids that go through everything. No, I've tried to tell them stop doing it. Just like with my dog, man. I got a husky, man. He go through my trash every day, bruh. Every day, rip it up. I gave him treats. I didn't collared him. I did everything, bro. Like, what else can I do? I didn't YouTube it. YouTube don't work on Siberian Huskies. I did it. You know what I do now? I built a wall on that side, and the trash can goes on that side. You know what, Cowboy? You won, bro. You won, bro. You won. You're gonna go through the trash. You won. But I still gotta avoid picking up trash every day, though. You know what I'm saying? So I had to adjust. I gave in. You know what, Cowboy? You won. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Now he's on that side of the house, and my trash is on the west side of the house. And guess what? He don't know because he don't see it. That's how you beat Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers has proven to me too many freaking times that even when you limit the projections and you give him, look, think about this. There are people out there that are mad at Dak Prescott for scoring a touchdown with 58 seconds left on the clock. Do you know that? He should have known that was too much time for Aaron Rodgers. You goddamn right. So what do you do?
That's on Jason Garrett, though.
But I'm just
he killed the clock. Remember, he killed the clock when he threw it to Dez.
Yeah, but I didn't say it wasn't. I'm saying there are people that because Dak is the one that actually walked into the end zone.
So those people that didn't pay attention to the game.
But even if they paid attention or not, what I'm saying is we're not trying to dispute. Put, you already know I'm a defender of the star. He's the defender of Dak. You know what I'm saying? So anything I say Dak, he gonna get.
But I definitely know you telling the truth. It's people like that, yeah.
Okay, see what I mean? Hey, y'all see what I'm talking about? Hey, inbox me later. You know what I mean. But yo, so what I'm saying is this, man. What I'm saying is this. Aaron Rodgers has shown me one thing, and that is this: keep the ball out of his hands. Because, like, if there are just certain players, like, he's a generational player. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Aaron Rodgers is, like, people say this: you can't do nothing without weapons. I mean, nobody really can, but I'm going to be honest with you. Aaron Rodgers makes the best out of it. He does the best out of making the best out of it. And think about this. The last time he won a Super Bowl was in 2009. You would have thought he would have complained about that here sometime soon, right? Like, you would have thought he would have complained about that, but he don't. He just goes out there and gets paid more and more money. I think a large part of Aaron Rodgers is playing for the money. I do believe it, because I just think that if this year he would have been focused, especially, like, you can tell that Tom Brady in his old age said, bro, get me some really young guys that are really fast. Weaponize me. Why? Because I'm 40, bruh. Like, you can tell Tom Brady said something to the effect, get me some weapons.
Yeah, you can tell.
Like, stop putting it on me, because they aggressively did it, bruh. They aggressively did it.
Right. They
did.
And
it just doesn't seem like, it don't seem like he really tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it almost feels like Aaron wants to be in those type of positions. But guess what? He is good enough to do it for a game. For a season? No. Nope. It's proven. Why? Because look what Aaron Rodgers has done in the last 10 years. He really hasn't done much.
Enough to shoot you until you said he can do it for a game.
Yeah, he can do it. He can do it for a game, but he can't do it. But he can't do it for 16. That's the problem with Aaron Rodgers.
So, because you was explaining the danger of Aaron Rodgers, because I'm over here honestly kind of got my chest out on him a little bit.
Yeah, but you get what I mean? Like, I can trust that he can do it again.
You painted the picture very fairly of why not to take it for granted. Because what I'm seeing in him right now, West Coast, you know the game NBA Jams. You played it before. You from Cali. It's different parts of Aaron Rodgers. He's heating up. If you played the game, if you shoot a three or you hit a bucket, and with one more shot, it'll say he's on fire. And when you get to that part of the game, you don't miss nothing in the game. You can just jack it and you go make it. Aaron has like those phases to me, to where he's starting to heat up, and then he gets to where he's on fire. Like, to right now, when I'm looking at his game, especially looking at the previous tapes of him playing this year, he's just heating up. He's not in that zone like he was in 2016 when he went on that 7-game consecutive winning streak, where he was basically, for the most part, playing just as dynamic as he played against us in that playoffs, against everybody. You know what I mean? He was just on fire. Yeah. So I kind of see him as vulnerable right now. But to your point, he can be one game away from what? He's on fire. And certain places can motivate you, so it's almost like don't take him for granted.
I mean, well, Boss Cowboy, what did Aaron Rodgers say today when they asked someone in Green Bay said, Aaron Rodgers, like, why do you play so well in Dallas? And he says, he has this little mustache. I just feel so comfortable. I feel so comfortable. I feel at home.
He said it's stimulated. He said when you look at the Jumbotron and you see all that kind of stuff, it's stimulating. Man, whatever. Look, man, I don't like Aaron. I want somebody to knock that mustache off his face. Like, straight up. I'm sick of Aaron. But at the same time, I'm also leaning on the side of I don't think Aaron can do it with what he has. I would look at it as I don't really believe in the myth that all you need for any team is just elite quarterback. I'm not on that side of the theory. I'm on the side of you need a team of people. That's why the greatest times you've ever seen Aaron was also when Aaron had the best weapons. When Jordy Nelson is your number 3 because Givens is and all them other guys on your team, that's when you saw the best of Aaron Rodgers. Now, is he an absolute elite quarterback? Absolutely. But I don't think those guys around him are really good enough to take us out. And I think it's going to damage his ability to really affect us. I don't think you can just throw everybody open. I don't. I think you need some guys that can get open, and sometimes you need guys that can make plays if you make a bad ball.
Go ahead.
So, and that's going back to kind of the offensive adjustments, because that we really was talking about defense, but looking at our offensive adjustments, I honestly say, man, on this game, if I want to just speak very specific on what we should do, even though the running game did not work against the Saints, Run the ball. I'm not the type, because y'all know y'all been hearing me say for the longest, I think we should lead off with the pass. But I can't watch film on this team, and I can't look at the data on this team and keep that same thinking. I just can't. This team says to me, you got to give them a real honest shot at running the ball. And I don't mean just one series. Don't come out scared because the Saints whipped your butt up front. Don't come out scared at all. You got to give these guys at least 3 series of hard run doses. I honestly feel like that, because you got to test that middle. Because when I look at the fact that Philly, basically without Carson Wentz, they shouldn't even interviewed Carson Wentz after that Thursday night game. They should have brought the running backs out and the offensive line and had about 10 mics.
Yeah, and my boy. And my boy Buddha got a good point too. Like, when we have an opportunity to get up on these guys, we got to take it. Like, instead of us being so, like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I love the aggressiveness on 4th down, but bro, be aggressive on 4th down when we're inside the red zone, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna be overly aggressive, I smell fried chicken too. If you're gonna be overly aggressive, be over aggressive trying to put some damn points on the field, on the board. You know what I'm saying? 3rd and 3 inside your red zone. We gonna kick a field goal. No, go get the 3 points. Go get the points. Buddha, that's a great point. That's a great point, bro. I love the fact that you're a scout, bro. You take the opportunities to be up. Take those opportunities. Because I'm going to tell you, a close game plays in Aaron Rodgers' hands. A close game plays into his hands.
Yeah,
so take your opportunities.
Yeah, he get a lot of confidence when you come out on him. And
especially in games where he feels like he shouldn't even be in it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he got a swag about himself when the games get late, like he's supposed to win the game. That's his true attitude when he's in those moments. So he's the type of guy that you got to really, like, beat him all the way down. He's not the type that you got to be kind of floating around in the 12th round, right? He's trying to see if the judge is going to give you that decision.
Kind of like what Porter was trying to do with Earl Spence.
No, you better not dance. Please don't dance.
No, Porter was trying to. He was trying to, but you could easily tell that at some point in Porter's mind, after the 10th round, he thought that he had won that fight. And after he got knocked down, like, you had to fight. You're fighting. He's trying to take your belt.
Right.
You got to beat him 51%. Not 50.
Yeah, because see, he was really trying to steal rounds. To your point, we can't.
And you can't do that. We just went all off key. We just went all off point with
Green Bay. We shouldn't, like, not even play with them. But I do agree with what I saw on the film. The film says this. The film says this greatly, and the data. Go look up a lot of the data that's going on right now with Green Bay, and you'll see that they're very, very, very weak in the middle.
Yeah,
So this is where you have to, and this is coming from somebody who want to see us throw more.
Yeah, and remember they let Daniels walk. The big D tackle they had in the middle, they let him walk.
Yeah, that middle is weak. Especially if you just bored, and especially if you got NFL Game Pass like we do, because we watch that a lot. That's how we watch all our film, right? Go pull up the 4th quarter when Philly was obviously needing to run to win that game, and watch how they just could not stop the run, bro. I mean, and it was not just the running backs. It's so clear that if you would have put Pollard and Zeke in replace of Howard and Sanders, that would have probably averaged 9 yards per carry, bro. Because Howard and them is not even close to Zeke and them talent level. It's not even close.
Hey, boss. Something else I want to throw in there too is also something in this Green Bay game that you're also going to see too is you're going to see probably Dak Prescott play against one of, I mean, because you got to think of the safeties. He's played against some pretty damn good safeties up to now, right?
Yeah.
Like first game he played against Jabril Peppers, first round pick.
Yeah.
Next week we played the next week? We played who was it? Who's our
the Redskins?
Redskins. You had Collins, who's an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Then you had Dolphins, who they had Xavier Howard. He's not a safety, but he's pretty nice at that outside end. You had a damn pretty good safety last week, and then also this week Dak is going to be playing mind games with one second-round pick named Savage. Now, funny story is the Green Bay Packers walked away from with the guy that we just, what's his name? That we
Josh Jones.
Josh Jones, JJ. They walked away from JJ and actually put Savage in that position, and now Savage is starting. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Josh Jones had some really good tape on him last year. I saw more about him hitting. I ain't gonna lie, he seems more of a tackler than he does a ball hawk. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, he's not the ball hog, no.
Like, everything I saw about him was him coming up and making hits. Like, he really good at making hits in the backfield, though. Like, that's one thing I did like about him is when he was going up, when they brought him up on the box to provide coverage, he wasn't like Heath just waiting there. Like, he was getting tackles for losses. Like, that's something you don't really see Heath doing, because Heath is the type of dude that will recognize the play and wait because he want to make sure. With this guy, this dude just takes off. You know what I'm saying? So I could easily see him being an up or replacement to Heath in any team other than the Dallas Cowboys, because you know it's not going to happen because Jeff Heath is the homie and they like him a lot, so you're going to do more than that. But I could easily see Josh Jones as an upgrade to Jeff Heath. I see it. I see it right now.
I see it too. And I mean,
what's up, Wendy?
One things I like is, I'm looking at Josh Jones measurables right now. Obviously, you don't fall in love with them when they're in tank tops and shorts and running around in biker shorts. But it's a good indication of Will McClay and doing, in the due diligence that he does.
He's a second-round pick, though. He's a former second-round pick.
Yeah. He's a Marshall's pick all day. That's an absolute Marshall's pick, but his 40 was 4.41.
Why do you think they give up on him? Like, explain that, because I know this is a guy that one thing about Boss is he has a really good memory. He remembers those kids. That's why I wanted to kind of talk about Savage versus Jones. Why do you think they were so easily able to walk away from Jones, a second-round pick, for another second-round pick that they got in Savage? And I think they actually got Savage in the third, right?
No, they got Savage in the first round.
Oh, they did. He was a late first round. I forgot.
Yeah, he was a late first round. And, I mean, I think they really did true BPA, brother. I'm just being honest. Like, and when you're looking at Savage, I mean, Savage is, like, measurable-wise, a monster. You know what I mean? 4.3 speed. I mean, you're seeing all the agility on tape, the ball skills. And we know if you look at Josh Jones, you don't really see the ball skills. You see
you don't. You see a tackler.
Lead tackling. You see a hitter. You see somebody that plays angry, right? I see an upgrade to Dallas. I see Savage better than him as an overall safety. Because, like, when you look at Savage, you're looking at an Xavier Woods mixed with a better tackler. You see what I'm saying? Because Xavier Woods is not the best tackler, but Savage is the ball skill person that Xavier Woods is, and a solid tackler, but way faster than Xavier Woods. So Savage is the guy that can make a play when you don't think he can make a play. He the guy that'll get there when you don't think he can get there. So when you get a guy and he's sitting there and you really true to your board, right? So even though you holding on to a guy like Josh Jones, you just got to be honest with your board and say, this guy's better. Let's go with it. So they somebody to me that actually exercised true BPA during their draft versus we didn't. We went for need over BPA.
Yeah,
best player available. If you don't know what BPA is, the best player available. So that's why I think Savage actually took him out. Same reason I think Georgia Local got sent out on Cincinnati.
Yeah, because if we were going best player available in this draft, Juan Thornhill will be on our team right now.
Or DK, or Adderley, or AJ Brown, right? All of those
but
guys
I'm just
are
saying,
balling right now.
Realistically, it should have been Thornhill because, bro, they even came out and said.
Because he was actually both.
Yeah.
Or Adderley, because he was actually both. He was best player plus need.
Yeah.
He was both.
But they didn't. They went with D tackle. Why? Because that's what they liked.
Yeah, it was need. And it's the same thing happened with Taco.
And remember what Chris Richard said? Chris Richard said, well, look, man, you don't need one of them safeties if you're getting to the ball. Well, we're not getting to the ball. So what happens now? We need a damn safety.
Because we're not getting to the ball.
Because we're not getting to the ball.
Out the middle. Not at the except for Collins, because you not get because see basically what you said is, which is so true. You have told no lies. What he basically said in that statement is that this draft pick at 58 is going to have penetration up the middle. That's going to cause hell for quarterbacks. I've just not seen it yet.
Yeah, and the way you say that statement, you make that statement because we needed a safety this year. So when he made that statement, it was under the assumption that he was going to do that this year.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to, like, I don't give a damn when, and that's my one cuss word.
It's two.
I don't give a dang what nobody says. Nobody thought that we were drafting Tristan Hill so that he could be inactive 2 games.
No, none of us.
I don't care what nobody says.
Yep.
That's not a statement a coach makes thinking that this kid's going to be inactive.
Yep.
Because if you're going to tell me that he knew he was going to play like that, I guarantee you Chris Richard says, give me one of those safeties. Give me one of those safeties.
Yeah. And it shows you Chris Richard goes and kind of says what he's told to say. Because ain't no way. No way, man.
But the key ingredient with Chris Richard is, we know that Chris Richard is playing politics. The key ingredient is, does he like it or does he not? That's the question.
He don't like it.
Because if he likes it, he's gonna be there forever. If he don't like it, because you don't. That means that your judgment is not trusted, and that means you don't control your own destiny with your own decisions. So how can you, especially when it's people of your position group? Like, ain't no way this is my position group, but I don't want the best player. And I'm the one that has to coach him, and I'm the one that's going to get held responsible if this group does not succeed.
It's just no way. There's no way you're going to say, Adderley. See, because I know you say Thornhill a lot. I had a clear grade of Adderley over Thornhill. That's just because of the dog that I've seen in Thornhill. You've been liking him.
Anybody that walks up to Patrick Mahomes and tells him, I got to use my one cuss word because he cuss word. He says, hey, man, you know that sideways SHIT? And then Pat was like, you can Google this too. It's on their sound effects. Pat was like, he kind of like laughed him off. And he's like, you know what I'm talking about. You ain't doing that shit no more. Right. That's what he said as a rookie to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
First day of practice.
I just watched that whole game from Detroit and Kansas City from beginning to end. Boy, your boy Thornhill was coming up, bro. Ooh-wee.
He's a dog, bro. And then you got Matthew beside him. Like, what?
And that goes back to your point, because we was really making a point of why we brought him up, is looking at why Savage was picked over Josh Jones. So when you look at Josh Jones, you're talking about 4.41 speed. This is what's really good. 20 reps on the bench press.
Strong.
Super strong. That's strong, bro. That's strong. And then he jumps 37 inches in the air.
That's linebacker reps.
Yeah, that's crazy. And see, I like when you, and then he's 6'1", so he has good height. His arm length is okay, 32. That's not like, freakish, but it's a good. His weight is super solid, running back solid, 220 pounds. So the measurables on him is good. And I always like when you marry potential with great coaching. That's why we was high on who? Quinn. Because it wasn't just the acquisition of Quinn. It was about who are you marrying Quinn to?
Quinn is a former 20-sack guy, and he's going with Rob Marinelli.
And he going with Rob Marinelli, and you're looking at Rob Marinelli's track record of taking water and turn it into wine.
Antoine Woods.
What is he going to do with a shot of Hennessy? He's going to make a real strong drink. So it's the same thing, I think, with Josh Jones. I give him my 2 or 3 weeks and that's if he get a chance to play. If he gets a chance to play, but he's also under Chris Richard coaching, he gonna be one of our better players.
Where does he play? Can I ask you a question though? Who's coming off the field? Because Xavier Woods is healthy, technically, because he practiced today, and then Jeff Heath is healthy, and then you still got Donovan Wilson. Like, I don't get this, bro. How are you signing?
Let me make my prediction real quick. I do this, and let me tell y'all something. I made a lot of money betting on Heat, y'all. I bet a lot of people that Heat was gonna start. And remember, in the offseason, everybody was, I want Heat out of here. I want Heat. I said, I know you do.
About drafting a tight end, because I told people we weren't drafting no tight end.
I said this over and over, West Coast. I know. I understand. I know you want him gone, but he's loved. And as long as if you don't understand that he's loved, you're going to be hoping for nothing. So I'm going to say this. As good as Josh Jones and his measurables and his tackling is, I'm going to make a bold prediction. He won't see the field because they protect Heat. I've been watching it for years.
Yeah, he's going to have to, it's crazy. You got to think like this. It took an injury or someone because right now Xavier Woods is banged up. Let's just be real. I don't give a damn if he's practicing full practice. He's banged up. When your name shows up that many times, you're banged up. You know what I'm saying? Ankle, back, knee, all that. And guess what? I get it. Most safeties are banged up if they're doing their job. Yeah. Why do you think people be like Earl Thomas is injury prone? Well, he plays safety too.
Right.
People get it. That's why he got another contract, because people
Right.
understand that. Look at the position. You're running full speed at an angle at someone at all times. But look
Right.
at the size difference in Earl Thomas and Xavier Woods.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say this: the type of safety that you won't running and crashing, because that you right.
You need about 220 pounds because running backs
bro,
are 220
you
pounds.
stole my point.
Zeke
You
is
stole my
230
point.
for real.
Right. You stole my point. That's what make people like Josh Jones perfect, man.
Yeah, because
when you built like him, you can kind of come downhill a lot hard and fast.
think about Barry Church. Barry Church, broken arm, broken forearm, broken
Yep.
collarbone.
Yep. Yep.
Like, bruh, safeties are gonna smack like you, because you're gonna think you're the last defense. So you have to hit this dude with everything.
Yeah, and then a lot of times people don't even look when safeties a lot of times have to take on tackles and guards.
Yep. Yeah, on screen plays and stuff.
Screen plays, and they have to take them on. It's no running around. It's almost like you got to blow up that play sometime, and you got to become a missile, a human missile to the play. Like when you really looking at the collisions of safety, like real, like looking at it for real, it's some people that just only God gifted to play safety. Like like when Roy Williams is on the show, I asked him, didn't I? I said, hey man, it was like you had a missing screw in your head. Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
And I wasn't being funny, but it's like the mentality that you have to have when you're a true safety. You have to be willing to run straight downhill, not lose an ounce of speed,
And not care
and
if you get
crash
hurt.
into somebody full speed nonstop. And you
Yeah.
have to do it all game.
Like, think about this. Barry Church broke his forearm and his arm tackling people.
Yeah.
Like, tackling folks.
Yeah.
Broke
And
his
so
forearm and his arm.
I'm not surprised Xavier Woods is breaking down before our eyes, because his body build was always a question.
Exactly. That's why, and that's why I always said that he was a better free, because I did not want him, like, he has the heart where he's not going to bounce off somebody, because when he do want to hit you. Like, he's not afraid to hit. But at the same time, like, I also think Xavier Woods doesn't have that, oh my God, it's a hallway. He running down a hallway. Oh, you think you got the audacity to try to run through on me in a hallway? A hallway is when a running back is running straight at you and it's just you and nobody else. That's what we call running in a hallway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We call that a lane.
Or a lane. You know what I'm saying? We say calling out, we about to close the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That safety needs to come and close the door.
Yep.
And it's like Xavier Woods, man, like I think he kind of, because he knows he's smaller, he thinks first. And you see that in the bad angles. Like you see that. Like guys who are just straight, like LVE is a straight animal. He don't care. They're taking angles.
Yeah.
Bow, bow.
Yeah, he a freak too. I mean,
He
you
hit
talking
you.
about a freak, and LVE is a freak athlete too. You talking about a freak?
Yeah.
Like I was watching the game with my mom, and I said, "How big you think he is?"
What
You
Mom
know?
say?
She said, "I don't know." I said, "That guy's 6'4". How many linebackers are 6'4", man? The dude can play basketball, you know. And you know the thing about LV, I know I got off topic. I just got excited when I was talking about it. He's not even into his grown man body yet. That's what's amazing about him. But anyway, but back
Wendy
to
Wendy says that Jeff Heath is his an uncle or cousin or something. Rodney says, and Rodney's a supporter. I appreciate it. He says exactly. So if we don't give Chris R the head coach job, he will go somewhere else and be one, and then Marinelli goes, then who we got? I'm gonna be honest with you, Rodney. I think you need to prepare yourself to lose Chris Richard regardless.
Yeah, prepare yourself.
Because Chris Richard turned down the Miami job, and for some strange reason, I have a feeling it's going to be available next year. And the only reason why Brian Flores got that job is because his last name is Brian Flores Belichick. That's the only reason why Brian Flores got that job. That's it. And because of the Rooney Rule, because he was black. Let's just be real. I'm black too, so we ain't got to fake the funk. It is what it is. We can say it. But yeah, I'm just being real. Like, the Rooney Rule says that at least one black coach has to audition for every job. And when I say black coach, it says coach of minority. And guess what? It was between Chris Richard, a guy who's 1 year in Dallas, or a guy whose name is Brian Flores Belichick. And think about this. You also play in his division. Come on, man. Come on now.
He was probably an Intel hire.
Yeah, it was it was super, like, bro. Like, come on, man. Brian Flores did nothing to deserve that job, and he still hasn't to this day. Like, they're gonna fire him, and think about this. Since under the Rooney Rule, you have to hire one minority black coach. You name me a black coach right now who is more deserving of a head coach job than Chris Richard.
Yeah.
I will wait. You're going to lose, Chris.
He's gone. I think he's gone. I mean, I just don't see how you can be under the Dallas politics. You got to be specially wired to handle this type of environment. That's why Jason Garrett, to a degree, is still to a degree
Perfect
good.
for the Cowboys.
Because you have to be able to watch Jerry and Steven take your best players in the offseason and publicly kind of go at them over contract disputes. And you have to be the person that looks at it and show no emotion about it. Like, that's cool. Even though you could be affecting the morale of my players that I got.
Affecting the morale of my players, you can factor in the fact my wife buying this new, adding this extra 4 bedrooms on the back of my house. Hell, you mean?
Yeah, you gotta be able to.
Like you affecting the way my kids go to college.
You got to be sitting in the draft, right? And you watch DK Metcalf fall to you at 58 in the second round.
And you know your offense only averaged 19 points last year.
And you watch him get passed up.
And then you watch the owner say, "Yeah, we might not even play. We might Jerry, Zeke might not even."
You got to be specially wired to not show any emotions on that, because it's like my future's on the line, and y'all getting a lot of red shirt draft picks. It's like I'm gonna be gone next year.
And another reason why I think he's going to, boss, is the fact that Ron Marinelli said that he is going to start letting Chris Richard do more interviews. Like, how does more exposure not help someone get a job? Like, can I ask you a question, Boss Cowboy?
Yeah.
You've gotten more exposure since you've been on here. You've gotten a bunch of extra gigs. You had the Landry hat. You had a bunch. You got some VIP accesses. Like, exposure brings you stuff. Got to interview some pretty famous people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You D-Law sees you and he says, "Hey, bro, where's that hat at?" What does D-Law say to you? Where's that hat at?
Yeah, we at the club and
we at the club with Jordan Lewis.
Bang, booty bing bang.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis like, "What's up, Boss Cowboy? What's up with you?"
Yeah.
Like, exposure brings you stuff. Like, brings stuff.
It does. So it's one chance that Chris Richard could stay, and it's one thing.
Boss Cowboy, you always bringing hope. Give him some hope, man.
I'm gonna give him some real hope. It's another side that he could stay. He could stay for the money. Obviously, they could do. They have to give him a raise. They're going to have to give him a raise. They could do what they did with Jason Garrett and say, "We're going to pay you like a head coach." It's better for your security.
Man, that is so corny, though. I'm tired of that.
I know, but I'm just talking about some of the
Jerrynomics.
The cards that we played in the past that could actually work to keep him here.
Jerrynomics.
Right?
Speak some Jerrynomics to me.
Yeah, so it'll be paying him, and we know we got endless pockets on that type of stuff.
Because there's no
if you can buy
cap.
a $250 million boat just to splurge, you can give a head coach a raise. Not a head coach. You can give a subordinate coach a raise. No problem, right?
Same thing they did with Will McClay. Because remember, Will McClay
Yep.
Will McClay had an opportunity to go to your city, Houston.
Yep.
And
not
think
my
about
city.
Well,
not my city.
My bad. That's where you went to college at. To go to Houston.
Get that right.
And think about this: Houston would have been such an easy move for Will because he lives halfway from Dallas. Like Will McClay,
he's from Houston as well.
He's from Houston,
home.
so he would have been going home.
Yeah, so he got networks there. He got a lot of plugs sitting right there, and they gave him a raise, and then he ripped up that contract and said, piss off. And even they tried to hire him this year after they had their GM problems. They went back and they made a public statement that he's not interested.
Steven Jones said that we gave him a number that we shouldn't have to come back to this table again. That's what Steven Jones said.
Yeah, so and it's also in his best interest to also consider a pay raise to stay, because you have to look at the trend of black coaches as head coaches in the NFL. They have very short lives, you know? So it's almost like you looking at, if I'm trying to calculate my career, especially if I have kids, right? And I'm trying to calculate my career and I'm seeing people that's of my color, they getting like maybe 1 year to turn around a team and they gone. And versus you can sit here with the Dallas Cowboys and get paid as if you are a head coach and you have a very young team, right? And you got most of your best players paid as well, like Jalen and all these guys. And you have and Tank and all these guys are paid. So I'm looking at it easily 4 years here at minimum, unless I just bum at my job, right? Or I'm looking at maybe a year or two as a head coach somewhere.
I mean,
more than likely, I'm gonna be going to a real bad team with real bad patience for me.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
you
I mean?
gotta. But that's only. But this is the thing. That makes sense if he's not ambitious. But I'm sorry. I have a feeling that he is ambitious because you got to remember he was already a defensive coordinator when he was fired in Seattle. He was the defensive coordinator being fired. So he actually took a step down to come to Dallas because now he's a position coach. He was the defensive coordinator in Seattle. He's a position coach. What I believe happening right now is he's getting paid like a defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe is happening right now. Yeah. So with that, and like man, at some point, man, you gotta structure stuff right, man. Like you can't just be out here just paying people just to stay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and you do it if you want to do, but at the same time, you would have wanted to adapt some of his skill set and some of the things that he's done and start mimicking that stuff. But my boy Pedro has a great point. He says we do need a fiery coach and all that, but guess what? That's not something Jerry Jones likes in his head coach. And let's be real, that's not. Jimmy got fired. Yeah, Jimmy got fired. These fiery fanboy coaches, Parcells, they got fired, man.
And I'm going to be honest, man, I don't even know if I want Chris Richard anymore. I know a lot of y'all going to hate me for that.
We don't need a defensive head coach. We need an offensive head coach. I'm sorry.
That's one thing. And then, two, you got to show me that you can push back on Jerry and them and win your arguments. Yeah, you got to show me you can push back on Jerry and win your arguments. At least Garrett pushed for Dak in the draft.
And got him.
Got him. And that's on record, y'all.
Chris Richard didn't push for – it didn't seem like he really pushed for nobody in this draft.
Are you pushing – who are you pushing for? Like, they got Georgia local because of you and cut him. And
didn't even play him, though. They didn't even
hardly play him. So the guy that you wanted is not even on the roster.
Yeah.
That shows me that you don't really push back enough on Jerry.
And then think about this, boss. The way he's handling Jordan Lewis still puts
it's like, bro, because you basically like a person that's fiery, but you're a dog with no bite. And see, at least we can say with Bill Parcells, I would want us to have a coach that come in at least with a reputation, almost like a Bill Parcells, to where he can say, I have enough clout within myself and my own brand to make good cases that can actually sway you, Jerry. But if it's somebody that was all the way brought up by Jerry and Steven, we're gonna be looking at puppets part 2 and part 3. And I don't care if you're a fiery coach. I'm looking at the evidence of your coaching through the people that you're coaching. I mean, and there's no way that you have real influence with this organization and real pull if you don't have enough gumption and game to talk them into putting Jordan Lewis on the field.
Because, boss, I'm going to tell you
right now. That's not even an argument. Yeah, that's not true. Even a debate. That's obvious. So if you don't have enough skill sets in your ability to persuade your leadership that this is best for all of us, I don't trust you with the whole team if I can't trust you with a nickelback. Yeah, and think about this, Boss Cowboy. I actually have more faith in Kellen Moore in that aspect off of how he's handled players versus Chris Richard, because Chris Richard, I mean, Jason Witten came back on this team and Jerry Jones didn't even know how much he was going to play. Jerry Jones was like, well, we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk to Jason and see if we can. Matter of fact, he said, bro, don't even get me started on that. What he said was specifically when they interviewed him, he said with Witten, he said it 3 times.
He said it like they didn't know.
Meaning he said that he was going to be a team player, right?
But he didn't know.
At this, I would have to see it to
believe it. So that means he didn't know.
Meaning we leaving it up to Witten how much he's going to play.
Yep.
So that automatically said, "Oh damn!"
And what did Kellen Moore say?
That's 2 cuss words to me. I'm sorry, but let me say this. This is real. That said to me, Kellen Moore, how are you with your little green self, with your little kitty chicken?
Don't stand up to the guy.
Don't stand up to Witten. And you know what happened? Game 1, Witten had only 66% of the snaps. I said he stood up for what was right.
Yeah.
He stood, because everybody that's really been following us know we are for Witten, but we are not for Witten at 98% of the snaps.
Yeah. And think about this, boss. There is nobody on offense who we believe is better that's not playing.
Exactly.
Nobody. Not one. Now, there's some thoughts about where people are playing, But there's no position on offense where you're like, that guy is playing better than that guy. Why isn't he even playing? Think about this. Devin Smith made a ridiculous play, and guess what? He's playing. Think about the guys who played well in preseason on the offense. They're playing.
Exactly.
Devin Smith is playing.
Yeah,
Tony P may not be playing as much, but he's playing. Think about on the defensive line. Guys who balled on the defense, one of them didn't even make the team. Another guy is just sitting there, Donovan Wilson, just sitting there while Jeff Heath continues to play.
Right.
And while Anthony Brown continues to play. Hey, how is Jordan Lewis not playing?
I heard Jerry say he likes John V. Johnson, bro. I heard him say that.
Oh, yeah, in the interview.
I heard him say he liked Guyton. I heard him say that, right? But Sanjay Lau obviously made a pitch for Devin Smith because Devin Smith was obviously the better player. He didn't play the politics. And Sanjay Lau said this straight up. He said, in the beginning, I was liking the younger guys.
Yeah.
And he pivoted from what? Film.
Yeah.
He said, Devin Smith is making plays. Therefore, Devin Smith will make my roster. Therefore, Devin Smith is going to be my number 3.
And he's playing. And he's actually
right now,
out there playing.
Let me tell you what Devin Smith's last snap counts was, because I'm looking at it right now. His last snap counts was, guess what?
What?
Hold on. His last snap counts was 79%.
And that's a guy who was not on this team
79% of the time, bro.
And he earned that in the off season, in preseason.
Yeah. And so when you go back to Chris Richard and when you say you want him as a head coach, I want somebody to tell me what evidence. Now, I did like how he inspired us against Philly. But remember, Steven took that away. Because he was pushing on the players. He got everybody amped up for that game. We won that game. I think it had a lot to do with what he did with getting us ready to kind of get in a war mode mindset. I think it had a lot to do with Chris Richard. But what can you do when the person that's your boss says, we won, but we didn't like how you did that?
Yeah, we didn't like that.
You got to go back publicly and be like,
and apologize.
Right. I shouldn't have done that. That doesn't represent the Dallas Cowboys well. You know how you talk. It didn't represent. So you can't even be the fiery guy that makes you who you are. So it's almost like Jordan Lewis and other players. Some of y'all probably gonna do better going somewhere else because you're not gonna be treated right here. Same thing I would say with Chris Richard. If you can't pick who you want on that field and you say publicly 4 times, Jordan Lewis is my exception.
He got irritated. He got irritated the last time.
He said it irritated. See, West Coast, you my boy, bro.
He got irritated. He said, like I said the last time. You stole it
right out of my mouth.
He got irritated the last time.
He was irritated. In other words, he was like saying it like.
But what people were asking him though is, why isn't he playing then?
Right.
That's the question they were really asking. They weren't asking, what's wrong with Jordan Lewis? Is he in the doghouse? Is he not playing?
Does he not?
They were asking. They were trying to ask in a nice way. If that's the case, Chris Richard, why isn't he playing?
Right. Can I make a small case of Jordan Lewis real quick?
Shoot. And then we gonna go ahead and then we gonna wrap it up.
Okay. Now, Jordan Lewis coming out of college had a number 1 grade. I mean, a top round draft choice by PFF. Okay?
No matter where you draft him, he was a top 3 corner. No matter where you drafted him.
Yeah. No matter where he was a top 3. At the worst, he would have been a second round. That's number 1. He was great at the top ball skills coming out that draft. That's number 1. Then you get into the year. PFF had him that year as top 10 in rookie of the year. Out of everybody drafted. That was his rookie year.
In 7
starts. For whatever reason, he was
7 starts.
Yeah.
He was benched because of Byron Jones going to cornerback.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that because Byron Jones worked out fine. He had the freaky measurables fine. It was a marriage with Chris Richard. I understand that, and it worked. It was a beautiful marriage. Great coaching met, great athleticism, and it worked. But that same coaching didn't work with Anthony Brown, but yet we still going through this tug of war. So you bench him. But then there's OTAs this year. The OTAs this year, you know who the standout player was? Jordan Lewis. Guess who was ranked 12th out of everybody in training camp, out of the whole camp? Jordan Lewis. Right? So all these accolades going into the season. And then when you finally play, the person that's playing bad game 1 and 2 is Anthony Brown. The person that's making the open field tackles and actually cleaning up some of Anthony Brown's missed tackles, Jordan Lewis.
Had the knockdown in the end zone.
Yeah, had the highest PFF grade game 1 out of every nickelback in the league.
Well, think about this,
These
Boss
are
Cowboy.
facts
You
on
have a
our own
safety.
guy.
You have a safety.
These are facts.
Think about this.
I have not made up not one thing.
Yeah.
Everything that I said is a fact on how our person was graded internally and externally. Internally, we graded him 12th over everybody. Externally, PFF said that he's the best nickel in the league. And he can't start here. So why would I trust Chris Richard?
Yeah, then just why not throw Donovan Wilson in there?
Thank you, man.
Like, why isn't someone
if you subject to be dictated to who should play, I can't trust you.
And then, Boss, it's like, why are we bringing? I like Josh Jones. I love him. Whatever his name is, I like him. I want to see him, but I'm like, we're not missing tackles. We need turnovers. And you have a guy who PFF said was the best safety in all of preseason games. Out of everybody. And this is a guy who's in the 6th round.
Right.
So why isn't he at least played one snap? How do you know that he can't play it, and you already bringing somebody else in? Like, it's stuff like that mind blows. Like, where is the guy on the desk beating down saying Donovan Wilson needs to freaking play? Like, where's that guy at? Like, and that's supposed to be Chris. That's supposed to be Chris Richard. That's your guy.
Supposed to be Chris Richard, man.
Like, if I'm Donovan Wilson, I'm looking at Chris Richard like, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh.
Oh, damn. I forgot. That's my third curse word. I forgot PFF gave Donovan Wilson what? In preseason?
Number 1.
Out of everybody? Everybody. So Thornhill played preseason over him?
Yep.
Adderley played preseason over him?
Yep. And those guys started.
Oh, Malik Hooker? Over him?
All played, and he graded higher than all those guys. And all those guys are playing. Donovan Wilson's the only guy on the sidelines. That makes no sense, bro. I'm making a video. You know what? It's official. I'm making a video about Donovan Wilson.
Make it.
This is ridiculous, bro. Like, we're in a game where we need more turnovers, and we can't get turnovers. And you have a guy who led the NFL in turnovers. What's the problem?
You got a guy. So you backing Wilson, I'm backing Jordan Lewis. Let's double team this. You got a guy who was so good on our team with his hands that you put him on in offense. But I'm gonna say the same point you just said.
So that
and we need what? Turnovers.
That means
who was the guy that when we put him in the game last year versus the Saints got us that turnover? Jordan Lewis. Yeah. And we not playing him. Remember that interception that Anthony Brown dropped for Miami? Yeah. More than likely, that's caught by Lewis. The guy has hands. I dare anybody Google Jordan Lewis coming out of college and look at his tapes on ball skills.
Jeff Heath had an interception this year, hit him in the side of the star. He just running down and just boom. Right.
So you know what the common denominator sound like to me when you look at Wilson, Cedric Wilson, and Lewis? Chris Richard. Chris
Richard's not fighting for him.
And his ability not fighting for him, man. And so it's like, I know to some people we might sound like bad guys because I know a lot of people love Chris Richard. I started off loving him, but I'm never going to go blind to what I feel like I obviously see, right? And if I'm looking at Sanjay Lau backing Devin Smith, and I'm looking at Rod Marinelli just ride for Woods, right? Because Woods was a nobody, baby, wasn't he? He was a nobody.
And think about this.
He Fredericks, and then Rod said, "You start." It was no questions about it. It was no games about it.
Sanjay Lau rides. You can tell Sanjay Lau rides for his guys because his guys play.
Exactly. And so, because one thing that Bill Parcells said that I would fear with Chris Richard based on what we're talking about is he said everybody can spot a phony. Okay. And so when you're looking at Chris Richard, that's what I would fear with him. If they see that he's a person that says all the right things and try to fire you up, come on, guys, come on, guys. But you really come on, you got to believe in yourself and all that good stuff he said on the sideline. Like, you got to forgive yourself. I mean, those of us that listen to that, we love it. Woo, he's coaching. Woo! We saw him getting on Lee and we saw him getting on LVE in the playoffs. That was like, oh, we want a coach like that. I don't want no coach like that if you're an undercover puppet.
Yeah.
Nope. Because what you go do is you go do all this rah, 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 rah. And behind the scenes, Jerry and them going to be running and doing everything they want, just like Garrett. But at least Garrett, on some things, got his way. On some things, Gary got his way. He got his way with Dak. I saw him going back and forth with Jerry. All you got to go do is look at what's called All or Nothing.
No, actually, if you want to go see it, go look on the Dak documentary. The Dak
that's
Prescott
right. It's the Dak Prescott documentary on the Dallas Cowboy app. Go look it up, and you'll see in the room, Gary wasn't just giving a soft pitch. He got up on his feet, didn't he, West Coast?
Yeah.
He got up and said, this is my favorite part of it, too. When Jason Garrett got up and said, this is the manifestation of Dak Prescott, I bust out laughing. I said, boy, he was fighting his butt off for him, bro. When you got to get up talking to the owner and say, this is the manifestation, he was like, I want you to envision it. He was selling it hard. And you want that. You want somebody that's I'm going to put my job on the line for the guys that I feel are the best. If Jordan Lewis go out there and trash, fire me. Yeah. But don't tell me to make Anthony Brown Jordan Lewis when he just not it. And don't tell me to make
Rodney says, I always said Jordan Lewis needs to be our third cornerback. Anthony Brown gets beat all the time, but Chris Richard likes tall corners. I got something to tell you, Rodney. Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown are the exact same size.
Yep. Do you know the difference?
There's a quarter inch. There's a quarter inch between the two of them.
You can't discern the difference.
There's a quarter inch. So that's why we really don't believe that there's no reason that that Jordan Lewis is not playing. Because he's the same size as Anthony Brown.
And neither one of them are tall. So
neither one of them.
If you saying he likes tall, then that means Anthony Brown
should not be playing.
6'2"? Is he 6'2" or something? Is he 6'3" or something?
Who?
Anthony Brown. People say that, I must be missing something. Is he 6'2", 6'3"? No, he 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah, like heck no.
Yeah, that's all. That ain't tall. If Anthony Brown walk up to you, you'll be like, you play football?
Yeah, I have a picture with Anthony Brown, and Anthony Brown's. I mean, right? They have him listed as 5'11". I could see that.
Yeah,
because he's shorter than me. They have him listed as 5'11". Let's go see what Jordan Lewis is. I'm very interested. I would actually think Jordan Lewis is probably. I mean, let's see.
So I mean, and the reason why we on that, Rodney, because he
was right. He 5'10". There's exactly an inch between them. Neither one of them are still over 6 foot. Yeah. So what I say is, if Anthony Brown can play as much, Jordan Lewis should play as much.
Because neither one of them are tall. No, you can't say they like tall if you looking like you're a little point guard.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Boss Cowboy, man, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Man, Boss Cowboy Sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can find me.
All right. So you did that really short, man. So and you make sure you can find me at Dallas Cowboy Scouting over here, man. With your boy West Coast, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hey, I appreciate everybody for sharing too, and I just appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. And I just thank everybody for supporting the show, man. Make sure you guys tune in this weekend. You guys already know that we're gonna be live this Saturday, October 5th, at Omni Hotel. The tickets are $95, but you use my code West Coast 25, you can get 25 off your ticket. We are going to have Jalen Smith, and we are going to have a special guest. My boy Leo Collins is not going to be able to make it, but we do have a special guest that's going to come in, and you will know exactly who he is because he starts for the Dallas Cowboys. So you already know we never let you guys down no matter who the player is. But, hey, it is your boy West Coast, man. He is your Cowboy cousin, Boss Cowboy, man. Hey, and also let me give you guys an update on our schedule for this week too, because this week we're going to be really aggressive. Friday night we're going to be doing our show at Friday night we'll be doing our show live at Texas Live, and then we're gonna have we're gonna be doing some stuff at the Star, so make sure you guys tune in there. So every night we're gonna end every night around 8 o'clock. We're gonna be doing a show that's Texas time, 8 o'clock. That's 6 p.m. Cali time. We'll be doing a show, either at Texas Live or at the Star somewhere, but we'll be making sure that we're live. So make sure you guys catch that content. It'll be on Facebook, and it'll be on YouTube, and it'll be on Instagram. So we just appreciate you guys, and we thank you guys for tuning in. And man, let's really get after these Green Bay Packers this week. You're gonna see a bunch of more content from the both of us this weekend. So we're gonna be together. You already know when we together, we try to do as much as possible. So make sure that you guys tune in this weekend, and we'll get you guys all taken care of on anything Cowboys related. Man, we're gonna be in the building all week, having as many shows as possible. So you guys you already know where you guys can find me at. It's your boy West Coast, man. You already know what it is, man. Never look down because the star is up. Peace.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
it.
man West Coast in this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. It's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!